Please welcome to the stage RPAG Chief Investment Officer, Jeff Elvander.
Aren't those walk-up songs always too short? That's my first panel question. No, just kidding. But that, for a little, if you don't know, that's Ice Cream Man by Van Halen, and that was one of David Lee Roth's favorite songs. Little fun fact, he played guitar on that song. So, they have this great guitarist known as Eddie Van Halen. So anyway, you're all set now for rock and roll trivia the next time you play. All right, here we go. So I got off track and we haven't started yet, so we're already off a track. So I think for the redirect, can I get everyone's help here? Everyone game? Yeah, you're all game? Okay. So what we're gonna do, because it's not about the Ice Cream Man, on my cue, we're gonna say what the panel really is about, and it's up on the screen. We're in Southern California, so try to do your best Jeff Spicoli, if you know who that is. Mm-hmm. And there's a comma, so you have to pause for the comma. All right, and I'll point out on cue. It's not about the Ice Cream Man, it's about the Income Man. Okay, thank you, well done, nice job. We didn't have to do that twice. Good. So we have an expert panel today that's going to help us out on this subject that I'm sure you're very well familiar with. The drumbeat is getting louder and louder. And let me just go, this is why we're here. Here are a couple of, I'm a CFA, so I had to bring a couple of numbers with me today. And this is why I think it's important. This is from BlackRock's survey. 93% of workplace savers are worried volatility will impact their savings. 93%. 89% of participants say having guaranteed income would potentially or positively impact their current well-being now. And 71% of workplace savers would save more if their plan offered them a guaranteed retirement income solution. So again, the drumbeat's getting louder and louder, and that's why we're here today. We have an expert panel up here to give us some of their thoughts and ideas around retirement income. From right to left, we have Jonathan Young from American Funds Capital Group. Look at that, he's got a fan.
I got a fan.
He's got a fan club out there.
Thank you.
We have Carrie Shan from BlackRock. There we go.
See, lots of fans.
Okay, she just beat you.
Yeah, easy.
And Brendan McCarthy from Nuveen.
Oh, look at that.
All right, there we go.
Everyone loves Brendan.
All right.
So can I ask you a question?
Jonathan, you can work on your fan club later.
I
What
will.
we're going to do is we're going to go into Q&A right now.
That's a no, I can't ask him a question. All right.
No, I ask the questions. I'm the moderator. Where we're going to start is, let's start at retirement income. And it isn't a new concept, right? It's been around for a while. We've been talking about it for a while. Arguably, it's a very important part of retirement, but it's been non-existent. So, the first, Brendan, I'll let you start. Why?
Well, it's been non-existent in 401k, and we'll talk about why. I think it's important to start, though, with, I know a number of you out there work with 403B, and FlexPath has a solution there in the 403B space, but guaranteed income has been a part of 403B plans since their inception. And the quick backstory, if you look at the nonprofit retirement plan industry, that started in 1918. First ever nonprofit retirement plan was Cornell University. And it occurred when Andrew Carnegie went on the board of Cornell and saw that the professors had no retirement plan. Because Cornell didn't want to set up a pension for the same reason that most corporations don't want to set one up today. It's a massive liability. And what they did at the time was he donated $1 million, and that was actually the start of TIA, and they created the first ever defined contribution plan in the US and the first ever fixed income annuity. And they did that to replicate the benefit that a defined benefit plan or a pension plan provides without the cost, without the financial burden that accompanies those types of plans. So that was the start of incorporating guaranteed income into defined contribution plans, and that fixed income annuity solution, the TIA fixed income annuity, that's actually the solution that powers these FlexPath income products today. So now if you move to the 401k industry and you look at when did that industry start, and I know there's some historians out there, but the 401k industry started, those plans started proliferating in the late 80s, early 90s, and that was via mutual fund companies. I joined the industry in 1994, and every mutual fund company had a thriving 401k business. They were all record keepers back then. Obviously, that's changed today. But if you look at that, 401k plans were set up to be all mutual funds, and they just overlooked guaranteed income for whatever the reasons may be. Now, 30 years later, we have what's known as the 401k generation, and that's the first generation of Americans in the modern era that are retiring predominantly without any guaranteed income other than their Social Security. The numbers on it are as follows. In 1975, 70% of Americans who had access to a retirement plan were inside of a pension or a DB plan. Today, that number is down to 12%. To make matters worse, I think we all know Americans are living longer. So when you combine those two, this is a major issue in Washington. In fact, the statistic from EBRI is that 40% of Americans are at risk of running out of income in retirement today. So on the 401k side, Washington is viewing this as the retirement crisis in the US. You'll hear that term often down there. Their solution is let's bring back guaranteed income for corporate America, and that led to the passage of the safe harbor annuity provisions in December of 2019. So they want to see guaranteed income come back to the American worker. I'll close out with saying that was December of 2019. I feel safe in saying in 2024 we have moved into the first inning of guaranteed income. Earlier this year, Fidelity announced that they were adding their first of these new target date income solutions. It was competitors, I don't know who. And yes, yeah, partner. Partner is more accurate. And Empower actually announced they were adding their first solution, the first live solution. I think most are aware of this, but if you're not, the first solution that Empower chose to add and make live was the FlexPath Income series. So these series that we're going to talk about today were the first ones that they chose. And I really want to start that because I know a lot of you are here and we talked about RPAG being on the forefront of trends in the industry. This is another area where RPAG FlexPath is bringing you something ahead of your competitors. Over the next 10 years, you're going to see the majority of target date funds, 401k plans and specifically target date funds, start to incorporate or embed some form of guaranteed income. And this is just another area where you're going to be out in front of your competition with something.
All right, so I'm hearing a lot of things there, right? Maybe regulation or a slow-moving industry, the solutions. Jonathan, you gonna give it to us straight here? What are your thoughts?
So I'd love to do an audience poll. I'm going to ask you to raise your hands. It doesn't matter. I won't be able to see you. How many of you, this is your first retirement income panel at a conference? I see a lot of hands going up. Look, retirement income has been around a long, long time, as we've established. Retirement income panels have been around for a while in our industry. I would challenge us, though, all of us in this industry believe in retirement income. I think as sometimes we get the words mixed up. There is a difference between retirement income and a lifetime income. We happen to believe lifetime income is a wonderful option, both in plan and out, for some plan sponsors, for some participants, for some of their money. But I do think a lot of folks that are against lifetime income are saying they're against retirement income, and that's just not true, and I think words matter. Annuities are not new, that is correct. They actually go back to Rome. If you think about another Roman invention that's really good, the annua, so it's over 2,000 years old. It's arguably the longest standing financial solution in existence, if you think about it. So they've been around for a long time, clearly well tested, so they make sense. But there are still biases, and I think that's the real challenge, the bias challenge that we all face. I think there are still many advisors, plan sponsors, and participants out there that hear the word annuity and think it's bad. And the reality is, back to the pension comment. Sorry, Brendan, I can't see you. But the pension, thank you for leaning forward, there it is. I think if you talk about lifetime income, would you like to have a check? Like, who doesn't want a check that lasts for their lifetime, right? I think the reality is we need to do a better job as an industry. I know the Alliance for Lifetime Income has been trying really hard to change the mindset in this country around that. That's been helpful. There still is complexity in the marketplace. There's complexity around the regulation. How much of a safe harbor is it? What do you need to do? Who does it cover? There's complexity in some of the product design. And while all that is true, it is better. And I would argue it's not a reason not to talk about it or to do it. We talk about costs. There are some people out there that still think these are very expensive options. Most of the generation we're in today of these lifetime income benefits are not as expensive as people think they are. And portability has even been addressed. So I think the reality is we need to do a better job as an industry and collectively getting the word out on what is real versus maybe what used to be.
Great. And I want to move next to maybe, Carrie, I'm not picking on anybody, but BlackRock's had some solutions that go back years that never really gained traction. And so maybe just comment on that, right? Because there have been some solutions out there. Any lessons learned?
Yep, thank you for that, Jeff. We have a ton of passion around creating a viable solution and frankly, numerous solutions in the marketplace for something that is so critically important to the American worker for their safety and security ongoing. So we have been incredibly passionate about driving that innovation. So thank you. And I also just want to take a quick second to thank all of you. This is my first RPAG conference, so super impressed last night. And want to thank all of you for the number of opportunities that you give our team each and every day to assist as you invite them into your practice as well. We're really grateful on behalf of the team. The demand has never been higher for retirement income. Exactly to your point, to Jonathan's point, and also to Brendan, right? I'm really excited that you announced our read on retirement stats, Jeff, because today I want to share with all of you that within the next couple of weeks, we're going to publish the first ever read on retirement specifically focused on retirement plan advisors. There's some terrific data in that publication that we will make sure that each attendee today receives a copy of so that you can use it within your practice as you reflect on how you want to architect the future of the work that you're doing and the clients with whom you're working. Those data points that Jeff mentioned are reinforced with both our national survey and our advisor survey, which tells us that 99% of plan sponsors today feel a sense of obligation around providing that guaranteed income solution. Listen, everyone in this room who works day in and day out, each of you are on the front lines with these clients. You're the ones who are hearing the feedback and the demand and the critical nature of the plan participants who are concerned about their future. It's why there's such a sense of urgency and these great partnerships that you're seeing between all four of our firms coming together to provide those solutions. We have understood that the root barriers against annuities that the general public has today, that bias that Jonathan spoke so eloquently about, is really about cost and complexity. It's why we're focused on the delivery of a solution in a target date vehicle where 60 million Americans are invested today. So over the last 6 years, we've worked with insurance companies and record keepers, our great industry partners, to be able to provide a solution that has institutional quality investment experience, as well as an entire digital ecosystem for plan participants called My Life Path. So each of those American working public participants, which is so exciting, can go onto My Life Path and see how their different contributions are creating that defined guaranteed retirement that they're really insecure and scared about today. We're very proud of the outcome and of the partnerships that we're forming across the industry and able to be delivering across a full spectrum of solutions. In fact, as of today, we have $27 billion in committed capital into LifePath Paycheck.
And kudos on that, that you're getting some adoption there. I think maybe the market sees that as maybe large market adoption and not small to mid-size type of plans. And so let's talk about that. And maybe Brendan, I'm going to pass that one back to you. adoption in the small to mid-sized plan, are there any challenges, thoughts, and feelings there? Is it different?
Yeah. So we are on our own platform, we're at 36 billion in annuity target date solutions called our Retire Plus offering, and RPAG FlexPath is the number one. I think Brian Roberts is out there somewhere, but in terms of plan count in the small and mid, that's I believe the number one by far in terms of number of plans. So we're seeing this market start to emerge in the small and mid a little bit quicker than in the large market. The market just moves a little bit slower. But the solutions that are coming to market are, I think you hit it earlier, simple, low cost, and portable. And these solutions are designed, they can fit in any, they're not exclusive to any market segment. We've already, with the solutions that we have, the FlexPath income solutions, we've already got several commitments north of 100 million out there from advisors that are being presented to plan sponsors. So, and in fact, I think we just presented to, I don't know if I can name this, but one of the states on their defined contribution plan, Jonathan Combs and team presented on these solutions. So we are seeing these solutions go anywhere. We are seeing the advisor sold segment of the market, just because it is more nimble, move a little bit faster on these as they become available in record keepers.
And that one you mentioned is for really the 403B market using models
Correct.
to deliver income. But let's talk, now we're seeing it more in target date funds. Jonathan, I mean, the question to you, again, small to mid-size, is there a preferred delivery mechanism, vehicle?
I mean, Carrie nailed it. I mean, target dates are the solution. They're widely accepted. I think we all know those numbers and the story behind that, but that, we need to drive towards that. Not the only solution, we'll talk more about that later, but I'm not convinced that and I shouldn't speak for BlackRock or TIA, but I'm not convinced either solution was uniquely designed for a market segment.
Correct.
As Brendan said, we're seeing success in our joint venture and certainly the smaller end of the market. But we have seen some $100 million plus activity out there, and that's exciting. I think there was a wide-held belief initially when co-manufactured products came out that larger, more sophisticated advisors, larger, more sophisticated plan sponsors would not be interested in that. And that, maybe there were some reasons that we would call legitimate for that, maybe track records and things like that. But if you talk to a large plan sponsor, what are they interested in? Lowering costs. What do some of these co-manufactured products do? They lower record-keeping costs, and many of them are coming in at, very reasonable market costs, in market costs. So I'm not convinced that the solutions out there are designed for a specific market segment. But I do think if you continue to talk about us in this room and us around the country, we have an obligation. We owe it to the plan sponsors we serve and the participants we serve and to our industry, right, to make sure that we continue to educate on this topic, to continue to evolve in product design. We just need to do that. And it can't just be the providers. It really needs to be each and every one of you. And this pains me because Brendan just mentioned his name, but I was talking to Brian Roberts about this. Yes, he just got 2 shout outs from the stage. But we were talking about Brian and sales tactics. And, there are some folks out there that will say something like, I'm happy to help you do this. And if you're not interested, I'm happy to help someone else do it and take it away from you. And that sounds really awful to say, and I get it. But the reality is there are advisors out there taking plans away from other advisors each and every day just by talking about things that the incumbent advisor is not talking about. All of you have access to information, to details and resources to help plan sponsors on all of these topics. And I would just encourage all of us, again, to play our part, right? To make sure we have a point of view, in particular on retirement income, a point of view on lifetime income, and it's not enough to have that. We need to be sharing it. We can't just, it can't be a fence to sit on where you just sit there and don't do anything. You have to have a point of view to provide plan sponsors so that they can act upon it.
It's confusing, and so that's why we have a retirement income matrix to help lay out what are all those dynamics, what are all the different solutions out there, but it's being educated, not necessarily, hey, this is the right one, it sounds like Jonathan, or this is...
Right.
Okay. So we kind of touched on small. Let's round it back, Carrie, to you. And we started with, large market solution, small market. I mean, thoughts and feelings on the type of solution. Is it across the spectrum? Is it really no, but doesn't matter the size of the plan, or?
I have a lot of feelings, but yes. I would say on the solutions, I think Brendan and Jonathan both touched on it, right? Our solutions weren't specifically designed for the markets with which they're being adopted. But again, that passion that we have to create that deliverable and the obligation that we all feel around making sure that we are the best partner possible to you and your practice in order to determine, based on the client with whom you're working, what is the best possible solution is really critical for us and for our team. So, we think about it on a full spectrum from not guaranteed investment vehicles all the way over to a fully guaranteed variable annuity or defined benefit plan providing income. So on one hand, and Jonathan touched on a few of these earlier, you might have multi-asset income producing vehicles or equity dividend paying stock vehicles providing an income solution. In the middle, you might have a managed payout opportunity, all the way over to these defined guaranteed payouts. It is going to take the entire spectrum and for all of us to think a little more holistically, including each of our firms, on how we're bringing that language to you in order to funnel it to your clients as well, to provide that holistic solution. So for BlackRock, we're not an insurance company. So we thought about it a little bit differently. We wanted to accomplish two things. One, we wanted to improve outcomes for the American worker first and foremost. Secondarily, we wanted to stay true to our ethos, which is long horizon investing. It is high breadth of access and opportunity for participants and low cost. And in doing that, we took insurance and created its own asset class so that we can create multi-asset portfolios using that insurance as a sleeve to provide income, which makes it a little bit unique and different in that target date structure.
So thank you for that. So I know, Brendan, it looked like you had something, just some thoughts on that. So, John, back to Jonathan's points. Income is important. In the words of Diamond Dave, all the flavors are guaranteed to satisfy. I think that's one of the lyrics in the song.
Correct.
In plan, out of plan, guaranteed, non-guaranteed. Brendan, you had some thoughts. Go, take it from...
I think it's important we get bogged down into the details of the product, the annuity component, all those pieces. At the end of the day, you're selling a benefit to that plan. That employer, that plan sponsor can now provide their employees with pension-like guaranteed income, and they don't need to add a DB plan. In fact, these solutions, the solution that you have here now through FlexPath, is so simple. It can be done through the 401k plan and done by simply providing them a target date fund that's very similar to their existing target date fund. So you're just going to replace the target date fund with a target date fund that acts the same way, but now those employees have that option of pension-like guaranteed income. And that's a benefit. And we stress, that why is that of benefit to your plan sponsor clients? We like to say the 3 R's that can help with them recruiting talent, them retaining talent, and them retiring on time. So you have this, whether it's in plan, out of plan, and we feel strongly on in plan, and the target date is the best solution for this. I think the kind of, when you view it as a benefit, I'd make the comparison of in plan versus out of plan. Look at your health plan. The way that's would be like an in-plan solution. You're getting your health benefits through your employer. If your employer said, here's what you can do, we're going to provide you a portal to the Obamacare health, and you go in and select your own, that's kind of out of plan. Like, it's here, we're going to help you, but we're going to push you out here to go get the stuff. And I think that's kind of, for some employers, that might be the way they don't want to deal with it. They might want to push it out of plan and not have anything to do with it. But for most employers, when you pitch that component that this is an enhanced benefit to their employees, most will end up landing on the in-plan offering.
Got it. Well, thank you. We're soon here finishing out. We got a couple minutes left, so why don't we just go to some final key thoughts and takeaways for the group as we finish up here. Carrie, let me
I would
give it
say
to you.
just really following on actually to Brendan's last comments and maybe synthesizing a few of the things that we've talked about, all of these solutions are really trying to do three things. We're trying to replicate income, stability of income, and hedge longevity. So income and stability of income, we could probably solve for without using insurance. We could probably do a lot of different things across that first part of the spectrum from income funds and otherwise. The longevity side today, we can't really estimate with accuracy how long someone is going to need that income in retirement. Although I'm highly impressed by Vince's longevity mission, and we have a lot in common there. So it's someday we might have better stats.
For 106.
I mean, honestly, though, right? I can't. Those pictures yesterday. So anyhow, to that end, insurance is really a necessary component as we think about guaranteed income in the future. And really, LifePath Paycheck was designed for simplicity. Many of these were designed for that potential so that we have the widest, deepest adoption and the best plan participant experience. So again, thank you, Jeff, thank you. And we would love the opportunity to work with each of you.
Well, thank you, Carrie. Brendan.
No, just reiterate, thank you, FlexPath first. Thank you, Empower, for making these the first solutions available on their platform. We have the Index Select from BlackRock. We have the Capital Group American Funds version. And I'm okay to say the Putnam version coming soon too.
That's okay.
So we have 3 versions in market. They are all powered underneath the hood with the TIA fixed income annuity. And just 1 second on that, TIA, you're probably familiar with them, largest insurer in the US based on AUM, $300 billion general account, $50 billion of statutory capital. When we don't, that's more than anyone and 5 times the government required amount, which leads to the highest credit ratings. When we don't use that, we actually turn that back in the form of a higher rate for those that choose to annuitize. So you have something that's fully liquid underneath these products, acts just like a regular target date fund. But if they choose to annuitize and they've been in it, the longer they've been in it, the higher the potential rate they will get should they choose to annuitize. And that's something now that you can go out that was exclusive only to TIA 403B plans for the first 100 years. That's now something for the first time we're offering out into the broader 401k market, and our first partner is FlexPath, so thank you.
Yeah, important not to overlook, right? It's the optionality, I think, which is important to annuitize, but if they don't annuitize, now you have this really this stable value portion where you're getting one of the highest crediting rates out in the industry, which I think is important if they don't, and so that's pretty attractive. So thank you for that. Jonathan, any last final thoughts?
As we have a red screen in front of us, I wrote down some bullets so I don't miss this. First of all, thank you, Jeff, for having us here. Thank you to all our friends at RPAG for continuing to partner with us. It's wonderful to be here. You know, at Capital Group, we believe retirement income is an outcome. It's not a product. And I think the debate has bifurcated us. And it is, you know, do you believe in lifetime income or guarantees or not? And I don't think, back to Carrie's point, it has to be either or. It can be prudent combinations. And if you look at the continuum of retirement income vehicles, bond funds, like people take income from bond funds all the time. There are a lot of ways to do it. Target dates, if they're designed for it, not all of them are, right? So I think that's important. I go back to have a point of view. The retirement income challenge, I just saw a stat, 42% of plans don't offer systematic withdrawals. Can we all agree having the ability to take out systematic withdrawals is probably worthwhile once you retire? So we got to work on that. The bottom line is, I think, plan sponsors, participants, they're carrying more and more. They need it more and more. And we are the first, you are the first and last line of defense to help in this battle. So I challenge each of you, have a stand, share it with your plan sponsors, make sure everyone on your team is able to replicate that message. And just thank you for partnering with all of us in the noble quest of improving participant outcomes.
Well, great. Well, thank you. I want to thank my expert panel up here today for sharing some of their thoughts around retirement income. Certainly, if there are any questions, I know we have some of the RPAG investment team members around here, Drew, Jeanette, and Evan. If you want to talk a little retirement income matrix, I know it's a lot of fun to talk about that stuff. But we have that. Reach out to your RPAG contact or any one of these folks over ice cream tonight. In the words of David Lee Roth, Diamond Dave, stop any of us while we're passing by, and we'd be happy to continue that. So thank you, everyone, and thank you guys. See you at ice cream tonight.